Good morning, everybody. Jody Brozick here with Winter Warriors Live, interviewing head coach Dan Aaker of your Winter Warriors. Dan, we had a bye week. Let's go ahead and talk about what has happened in this bye week since our last appearance on the field.
Yeah, we treated bye week kind of what we did in the past. We were kind of banged up a little bit, to be honest with you. Nolan, the knee injury, and we got kind of good news with him. I think it's MCL. Goes back in on Monday to reevaluate, and hopefully we get him back sooner or later. But not going to be playing tonight. But we had some other guys, Philip and Oscar, just some guys that were kind of dinged, and we really kind of rested them. We had a couple guys get hurt in the JV game week Monday too, and so the game plan going in either way was to get to more individual breakdown of positions and just work on blocking and tackling and things like that, and the fundamentals, and not a lot of team for the first couple of days. And then on Thursday, we introduced our scouting report for Valentine and got into some more team stuff, and then just carried that over into this week. I thought it worked pretty. We gave Friday and Saturday, Sunday off, so a chance for everybody to kind of regroup and be ready to go on Monday, and then we just kind of carried into Valentine. So we laid a little groundwork for Valentine there last week, but really got back to us and some of that fundamental stuff, some of the individual stuff, and hopefully just fine tune and get a little better in some of those areas, and then get back to focusing on our opponent tonight.
Last time we saw you in the field was against the West Central Trojans. Quite the performance, I thought, offensively and defensively. Give us your last impressions of that matchup with West Central.
Yeah, I thought we played the best first half we played in a year and a half from all three phases. We really played a really good first half. We had 4 possessions. We scored all 4 possessions, and all really ball control, methodical drives that we were able to cap off. And then defensively, we did some nice things too. So I thought that we felt good at halftime, and I'll give West Central credit. They did not lay down for us in the second half and fought and battled us. And we probably didn't play as good as second half, but I think that had a lot to do with the character they showed as a team, and overall a lot of positives to take from it. I thought that was a quality win, and against a pretty solid team that plays a lot of good teams as well. So definitely something that I think we build confidence on. We can build from. Hopefully that little window of a bye week doesn't take any of that away, but I think there's some things that we can definitely move on with. And to be honest with you, if we play like we did that first half, the rest of the year out, we're going to be a pretty good football team. We played really well that first half.
So let's talk about Valentine Badgers. The other day I asked you a question and you stumped me because you knew the answer right away. So I'm going to challenge you again. When's the last time we lost to the Valentine Badgers in this series? And when's the last time we lost to them in any sport in this rivalry?
Well, we lost to them in JV on Monday.
Yeah.
And that's been a while, but we're on an 11-game win streak with them. So, you look at kind of the history of that rivalry. We played them every year since 1960. So them and Chamberlain are 2 longest rivals going on, and it's kind of a unique rival. I think I say this every year because our guys don't really hang out with those guys very often. We really only see them in sporting events, and you look at that series. There's been kind of streaks that went back and forth. This is probably one of the longest ones, I think, and it was year 7 since I got here before we got them. So they won 6. Well, I was coaching them, and then had a couple before that too. I think they were on an 6, 7, or 8 before we snapped it. Now we've kind of been on 11. So they're going to want us pretty bad, and it's not an easy place to go down and play. We've been hammering all week that we got to prove that we can go on the road and play good football, because the irony of this whole thing is we went 10 years, won 39 straight road games over 10 years, and we've lost our last 2. And trust me, they've heard about it this week that we've got to prove that we can be a team that get on a bus and play well. And hopefully we see that tonight, and because you just don't know where you're going to end up as in playoffs or what have you. But we got to be able to do that. And so I think that we've definitely stressed that a lot this week, and they understand that Valentine number 1 is going to be ready to play us. They want to break that streak back. And number 2, it's not an easy place to go play. And all that's got to come together with us having some mental focus and accomplishing some things. So.
The 2018 version of the Valentine Badgers, anything different than what we've seen in previous years, offensively and defensively?
No, I think that, Blake's been there 5-6 years now, 5 for sure, I think, and he does a really nice job. They do a lot of things offensively that are challenging for a team, formations and both X's and O's. And I think the one thing that our biggest concern is they run 5 or 6 different types of screens. And they run them out every different formation. And the tunnel screen is probably our biggest concern because it goes against everything that you've taught your kids from day one of how to play defense, keep outside shoulder free and flow outside, keep everything inside of you. Well, that one play, that will really cost you. We spent a lot of time on that, probably more than we would like because it's that big a concern. But I think that the thing for us defensively, just like every week, is we shut down the run game as best we can and then limit the big plays. And I think their big plays in the first 3 games have really come off screens. So that's a big part of their offense. And they treat it like a run. They have shovel pass in there. So they bring a lot of things that you have to prepare for. Coach Olson and I kind of talk about this. We played them enough, and Blake's been there enough. It's kind of similar to when we get to point after playing St. Thomas More because they do a lot of things we don't see from other teams. So we've hopefully figured out maybe some tendencies and things to help our guys out. But ultimately, they got to be very disciplined and read their keys. Defensively, number 54, his name isn't coming to me off the top of my head, but he is a standout. You watch him on film, and I bet he's made 80% of the tackles for him. He's a very good linebacker that we have to account for every play. He's not the only guy. 44, the defensive end, both those guys played a lot last year, starters and good players. But they have. If you were going to compare the teams, a lot of similar things that we have in terms of like wrestlers. You look at their quarterback, running backs, all good wrestlers, all good athletes, and we have kind of the same thing. Sam and Trevor. So and those guys know each other, and that adds a little extra flair to it too, I think. But just tough, hard-nosed, Valentine football team. They did return. Not a lot of starters. They were pretty senior laden last year, but they're off to a nice start. We went and watched them last week, and they're definitely a formidable opponent, and especially in their house, they play really well down there.
Real quick before we close, 11B football in general.
Yeah,
it's really shaped up different this year.
It has, and it's a quality division, I think, without question. You would ask me last week, I would have said suppose Christian is a front runner, and then Canton, really kind of handled it. And Bridgewater and Ethan's still rolling. MVP has ended a game within 40 points. Those 3 are obviously very, very good. And Sioux Falls Christian's very good, as we found out. And Beersford's a good football team. And, I think we're getting better. So, interesting class. Interesting how this all play out. Every game's extremely important for positioning yourself and hopefully get yourself a home game or whatever when it comes to playoffs. But we're in a critical stage of our season right now with especially the next 3 games starting tonight. We need to perform well and build off the West Central win and take care of business. But the teams we got coming up in the next couple of weeks are going to be very challenging, and we're really dictated about where we're going to be come playoff time. So we're excited for that, and hopefully continue the momentum we built last week tonight.
Good luck tonight, Coach.
Thanks, Joey.